Some athletes crack under pressure. Some disappear when the moment gets tough, and others, they don't even realize they're mentally weak until it's too late. Mental weakness isn't always obvious. It doesn't just mean giving up or being afraid. It shows up in subtle ways that are holding you back without you even knowing. And if you don't fix it, you'll stay stuck while stronger athletes pass you by. In this video, I'm breaking down the 5 hidden signs of mental weakness that most athletes ignore. If you recognize any of these in yourself, don't panic. I'll show you exactly how to fix them. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam and I'm a mental performance coach to pro athletes. My job is to help serious competitors build the mental edge needed to dominate. So if you want to become unshakable under pressure, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Okay, so I want you to think about a striker who scores a hat-trick one week and then feels like he's the best in the world. But the very next game, he misses a few chances and suddenly his confidence just crumbles. He starts doubting his ability to perform, feeling like his good form has disappeared. This is a prime example of being a form merchant, an athlete who buys into the myth of form. They let recent results dictate how they feel about their abilities. But here's the truth. Form is an illusion. It's a temporary state that comes and goes. A bad game doesn't erase all the hard work that you've put in, just like a good game doesn't guarantee that the next one will go perfectly. Truly mentally strong athletes, they don't rely on form to feel confident. They believe in their ability no matter what has happened last week, last game, or last training session. Their confidence comes from trust in their preparation, not the streak that they're currently on. So if you find yourself riding the highs and lows of form, here's how to break free. Firstly, it's absolutely crucial that you detach confidence from outcomes. Start measuring your growth in ways that go beyond wins and losses. Track your consistency in your training, your execution of skills, and your ability to stay composed under pressure. Keep a journal of all the key wins that you experience, even if a lot of this has to do with how you feel day to day. Things like feeling sharp, loose, and on it are still valuable pieces of evidence that you can turn to in order to feel that you're more than capable of executing in your next performance. Then the next key thing is to also use process-focused self-talk. Instead of saying things like, I'm in good form or I'm in bad form, you need to make a conscious shift to stuff like, I trust my preparation or I know how to perform no matter what. This ensures that whatever the run that you've been on, you can still have that full confidence every single time. You're no longer just flipping a coin based on what's been going on recently. And then lastly, it's essential that you reframe bad games as data, not identity. A poor performance isn't proof that you're failing. It's just feedback, nothing else. The best athletes use setbacks as adjustments, not confidence killers. So look, you can't always control form, but you can control belief. And that's what separates the mentally weak athletes from those who dominate consistently. So next up, imagine you're in the final minutes of a big performance. The pressure's intense, and instead of going for that bold pass or risky trick, you start playing it safe. You avoid risky plays because you're scared of making a mistake, scared of losing the game. You start playing not to lose rather than playing to win. This is such a common theme among mentally weak athletes. But here's the reality. Playing not to lose is the quickest way to lose. It's a mindset that keeps you stuck in a cycle of fear and hesitation. Mentally strong athletes, on the other hand, are not afraid of making mistakes because they understand that risk is part of growth. They're fully committed to playing to win, not just avoiding failure. To break out of this mindset, you need to start embracing calculated risk. This doesn't mean being reckless or making wild, impulsive decisions. It means trusting your preparation and your instincts to make the right play when it counts. The key difference between the two is confidence. When you've put in the work, when you've spent countless hours in training, refining your skills and learning how to handle pressure, you can approach the game with a mindset of embracing risk, knowing that your preparation will help you recover if things don't go as planned. When you're in the heat of the game and that big moment comes, commit fully to the decision. Don't hesitate. Think about a rugby player in the final moments of a match, charging down the field towards the try line with defenders closing in on him. He's got one shot to make the pass or break through the defense. But if he hesitates or second guesses himself, the opportunity is completely gone. But the mentally strong athlete just trusts his preparation and goes for it, no matter the pressure. So look, when you start embracing those calculated risks and play to win, you'll realize that the more you put yourself out there, the more you'll grow. Every time you take a risk and it pays off, your confidence will build. Even when it doesn't, you'll be able to take the feedback and adjust, knowing that next time you'll be better for it. So let's get straight to the point for this next one. You are a mentally weak athlete if you're not the first to put your hand up. The mentally strong athlete doesn't shy away from big moments. They embrace them. They don't wait to be asked to take on the responsibility. They volunteer even when they feel some fear. It's about instantly saying, I'll take the first one when your team is heading into a penalty shootout. Or think about motorsport drivers or riders racing in heavy rain. The track is slick, visibility is poor, and the risk is high. Most drivers would slow down, take the safer route, and avoid making bold moves. But the mentally tough driver, they lean into it. taking calculated risks, pushing their limits, and using the conditions to their advantage. They don't wait for the right moment to come along. They create it by being the first to step into the chaos and trust their skills to navigate it. This kind of bravery doesn't just appear overnight. To develop this mindset, you need to grow comfortable with the unknown. Start by practicing in situations that truly challenge you. Whether it's in training or practice games, simulate high-stakes moments where the outcome feels important. The more you expose yourself to these moments in practice, the more natural it will feel when the real game arrives. But it's not just about blindly jumping into pressure situations, it's about reframing how you see them. Instead of viewing high-pressure moments as a threat, start seeing them as an opportunity to prove your mental strength. The fear or nerves that you feel aren't signs of mental weakness. They're a sign that you're in a moment that just matters. And that's where the best athletes thrive. So each time you step up in these moments, regardless of the outcome, you're building your self-trust. And that trust is key. When you've consistently faced pressure and acted with confidence, you start to believe in your ability to perform when it really counts. This ability also ties into the next point, because mentally strong athletes always show that level of bravery because deep down, they don't care about what people think of them if they mess up. In contrast, when most athletes step onto the pitch, all they can think about is what their coach, their teammates, or even their parents will think of their performance. Will they be impressed? Will they acknowledge all the hard work? These athletes are so focused on these reactions that they forget to focus on their individual game. This is what it looks like when you're desperate for validation, and it's a clear sign of mental weakness. When you rely on others to validate your worth or performance, you're essentially giving up control of your confidence. Your self-belief is tied to other people's opinions, and honestly, that's dangerous. The truth is, external validation is fleeting. One moment you might be getting a high five or compliment from your coach. The next you might hear criticism or see a lack of praise, and suddenly your confidence crumbles. If your self-worth is on the line every time you're waiting for someone to tell you that you're doing well, you're setting yourself up for emotional instability and inconsistency. Mentally strong athletes don't rely on validation from others. Their confidence is rooted inside of them, not in external praise. Think of a tennis player who misses a crucial shot in a high-stakes match. Instead of looking to their coach or crowd for approval or sympathy, they just immediately reset, focus on the next point, and trust in their preparation. They don't let a bad shot or external reaction affect their belief in themselves. They know that their worth isn't determined by anyone else's opinion. It's determined by their commitment, their mindset, and their relentless pursuit of improvement. So what's the solution? Well, it's about internalizing your self-worth. Build confidence from your own standards, not from other people's reactions. Instead of waiting for someone to tell you you're on the right track, start tracking your progress yourself in a way that is truly meaningful. Reflect on the work that you've put in, the growth that you've achieved, and the moments where you've stayed mentally tough. These personal markers are far more valuable than any external pat on the back. Doing this will allow you to stop letting your confidence fluctuate based on what others think of you. Mentally strong athletes really don't need any validation to perform. They've already validated themselves by committing to the process, and that internal confidence is unshakable, no matter the external noise. Now, while it's important to stay focused on the process and not rely on validation from others, there's another side to maintaining that inner confidence, and that's knowing when to step back and recharge. A lot of athletes feel like they have to be on the grind 24/7, always working harder, always doing more. They think if they rest, they're falling behind. They're afraid that taking a break will make them weak or lose their edge. The thought might cross their mind, if I take a day off, someone else is putting in the work while I'm slacking. But here's the thing. Constantly pushing yourself without rest doesn't build strength. It breaks you down. And it's a trap that far too many athletes fall into. The reality is, mentally strong athletes know that rest isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. They understand that taking time off is an essential part of the process. Rest is where growth happens. It's during recovery that your body repairs, your mind resets, and you come back stronger. Without it, you'll eventually hit a wall. Your performance will plateau or worse, decline. So how do you shift your mindset? Well, it starts with recognizing rest as a strength, not a weakness. If you're constantly grinding, you're not giving your body the time it needs to recover and come back stronger. Mentally strong athletes truly understand this. They see rest as a strategic part of their performance cycle. Think of it like fueling a race car. If you keep pushing the engine without ever refueling, then eventually it's just going to break down. But if you strategically give it the fuel it needs, then you'll maximize its power when it truly counts. Your body and mind are no different. So instead of feeling guilty about taking a day off, understand that it's just an investment in your performance. And to get you more comfortable with being able to adopt this approach in your sport, then check out this video next.